Well, the broader goal, I believe, is the militarization of major American cities before the 2026 elections. It's a signal that they're trying to send that it's okay to have troops on your street, that this would be a welcome thing for people who live in Chicago. What happens in these sorts of incidents is typically ICE puts out a press release before anybody else can speak with the press, and then it gets reported on social media and elsewhere. They are just putting out their propaganda.
Our officers, they are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. Do not box in any law enforcement officer.
We've seen more weapons here in Chicago in a month than we did in Los Angeles over a 4-month period.
Okay, welcome back. First, you heard Illinois Democrat Governor J.B. Pritzker. Critics are saying he really sounded hysterical and paranoid on MSNBC. And then he tried to downplay attacks on ICE agents in Chicago when it's on video. But then that was the chief Border Patrol agent in Chicago at the back end, revealing they've seized more illegal guns in Chicago than in L.A. And before that, the superintendent of police in Chicago saying rioters really are attacking ICE agents, both of them rebutting J.B. Pritzker. Why isn't MSNBC doing that? We're excited to have back on our show, rather on our show for the first time, the Deputy Director of ICE, Madison Sheahan. Deputy Director, thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of what you just heard?
Well, look, this is classic from Governor Pritzker, claiming that there's no violence in Chicago, that National Guard isn't needed, that ICE doesn't need to come into their cities. I mean, you heard it from Chief Bovino, who had a hit put out on him because of the work he's doing in Chicago. The men and women of ICE, Border Patrol, and the federal partners will continue to go after the worst of the worst, the gang members, the murderers, the rapists. And we are seeing threats against ICE officers at an all-time high, over 1,000%. And because of that, we will continue to work with our federal partners, whether it's National Guard troops, whether it's our other DOJ partners, to go out and effectuate arrests on gang members, murderers, rapists, truly the worst of the worst who are just running free in Chicago because of Governor Pritzker.
Can you give us more details about that, about who exactly ICE is catching in Chicago? Because, by the way, the Texas National Guard, breaking news, has just arrived in Chicago. We're hearing from voters in Chicago, Democrats are coming off as being against safety of U.S. citizens and minority neighborhoods. We should point out there have been more than 1,500 shooting victims in Chicago so far this year. Nearly 280 of them died from their wounds. Just this past weekend, 30 were shot in Chicago. 6 of them died. So who specifically are you catching?
Absolutely. Well, I had the opportunity to go out and do a ride-along with our officers in Chicago. The day I was out with them, we picked up one gang member, one person convicted of murder, somebody that was accused of sexual assault against a minor, somebody who was accused of sexual assault against a family member. The list goes on and on and on. Our law enforcement efforts will continue even as these protests continue nationwide. We're seeing protests in Chicago. We're seeing protests in Portland. This is violence against our ICE officers when they are removing some of the worst people off of our streets, people who should never have been here in the first place, but came through open border policies of the previous administration. And President Trump and Secretary Noem have put a stop to that, taking the handcuffs off law enforcement officers and allow us to put them on the criminals and allow us to go out and arrest these heinous criminals from the streets.
How will the Texas National Guard help in Chicago?
Texas National Guard is going to help us by protecting people and property. We have a facility in Chicago that has seen protests day after day that continue to turn violent. And when Governor Pritzker says we're inciting the violence, I want to remind him that his protesters show up with gas masks and fireworks to attack our ICE officers who are trying to protect our facility that has detainees in it, just as these people we just mentioned. These people have convicted of murder, rape, and the list goes on and on and on.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy ICE Director Madison Sheahan. Thanks for joining us, your debut show appearance on the show. It's good to see you. Thank you for that.